Welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to see regarding the concept of flow control. It's what the main intention of flow control is whatever the event until the condition gets satisfied, the program is going to execute itself. Whenever the condition gets failed, the program execution stops automatically. So in control flow, we are having control statements, transfer statements, and iterative statements. Conditional statements with if condition, if else condition, if else if condition, and transfer statements break, continue, pass, and iterative statements comes for while. So conditional statements means these are the things like for example, if I written a program called marks is equal to 35, if marks are greater than 35, print pass. If marks are less than 35, print fail. So here, based upon the condition whatever the user enters, if the user enters 60, we are going to get a result called pass. If the user enters 20, you are going to get result fail. So based upon the condition, it is changing the output. Means this is control statements. So this control statements we can write by three methods. We can write by if condition, we can write by if else condition, we can write by if else if condition. Based upon the uh, requirement, we will use the terms. So transfer statements means based upon the condition you can use the break statements. Break means on certain if you are printing 1 to 10 numbers, after 5 if you want to break the flow, so you will use a term called break. In continue means if you are printing a set of numbers, you want to stop at the middle and you want to continue after stopping, you can use continue. Pass means the values are passing by one value to one other value. For means it is an iterative statement. It is used for whatever the value you want to initialize, you want to declare, everything you can define in only single line. So the execution will perform only in that particular loop itself. For I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus means here initialization, in conditional operation, and increment or decrement. All the three steps are going to happen in the same place. So this is what the thing happens here. So it is an iterative statement. So conditional statements address the if condition. Condition, the syntax of if condition is here we are going to write condition. By that condition, whatever the statements you want to execute, you will write a number of statements. If the condition is true, then only these statements get executed. Here you can see here name is equal to input enter name. Okay. If name is equal to Srinu, if name double equal to Srinu means if whatever the input you are giving a name here, it is equal to Srinu only, you are going to get output print hello Srinivas, good morning. So if the name is equal to Srinu only, you will going to get good morning. If you enter the name called Kumar or Venkat, what you are going to get how are you only. So here, while running a program, the main thing we have to remember is you have to take care of these indentations. Means whatever the things you are writing, you have to take care in which line it is going to start next line. While taking the next line, where it is going to start and all these things. So let us try to run this program. I, I will show you one more method for running the program. I have taken notepad. We just simply copy and paste the code to reduce the time. So whatever the program you have written is wrong, of course. Why? Because I have not taken care regarding indentations and all these things. Now, after saving the file, I will check the indentations and all these things. So while saving the program, you can give a file name. I have given my file name is 1.py. and you can save your file anywhere you want. So I saved my file in desktop. So after saving your program, let's go for, okay, let's open the program here. So this is what my program. So now that giving indentation is very simple. We just with the backspace go to the before line and come to the next line. So you have given indentation. So after giving indentation, you save the program controllers and click F5. F5 means enter. So I have given a name for Srinu. So it is going to give hello Srinu, good morning. How are you? So and another thing is you can close this ideally if you run again once, try with another name. Hello, enter the name Venkat. It is going to give the name. So, hello, and how are you? Means it is going to display only how are you. Why? Because it is not printing good morning. Means here you can see the logic name is called input enter name. If name double equal to Srinu, means whatever the name you are entering, it doesn't matter. If you enter the name called Srinu, then only it is going to print this print statement. It means this print statement is linked with this if statement. And the another thing is, if you are entering the name apart from Srinu, it is going to print how are you. This print statement is not linked with this if statement. So I have written this print statement linked to here, and I have written this print statement out of this box. Means if you enter the name other than Srinu like Venkat, Kumar, Kishore like that, it is going to print this print statement. Why? Because this print statement is not linked with any type of other statements. So in this manner, you have to execute the program. So here you can write your program even in Python ideally also. If you write your program in Python ideally, if there is any mistake in any particular line, for example, if there is mistake in line number 3, line number 1 and 2 doesn't have any error. If there is error in line number 3, again you have to write from line number 1 to again. So it is a very time taking process. So that's why you write the code in a notepad and save it as a file name.py and perform your task, isn't it? In this manner you can run the program of if condition. So if else condition. So here the same program. So if else condition means here I am writing if marks enter marks. I have written print means if marks are greater than 35 print pass, else print fail. Means based upon your marks you are going to get either pass or fail. So name is equal to enter name. You have entered the name. If name equal to Vasu, if name is equal to Vasu, I am going to get hello Vasu, good morning. Else hello guest, good morning. How are you is common for even for Vasu or other. If you enter Srinu also, you are going to get hello guest, good morning. How are you? This manner you can perform the task of if else condition. If means if you give if name is equal to Vasu, one type of output you are going to get, or if you give other name, one type of output you are going to get. If condition is not like that. In the if else condition, it is going to say the result for all the cases. If condition is going to say the result only when the condition is true. That's it. See here, enter the name Vasu. I have entered the name Vasu. So you have got hello Vasu, good morning. How are you? But if you enter the name other than Vasu, I have entered here name Ravi. So I am going to get hello guest, good morning. How are you? In if the name is apart from Vasu, I am going to get this print statement and how are you is common. So this is how you are going to perform if else condition. Next if else if condition. If else if condition means here we are having multiple conditions. Based upon our input, which condition satisfies, I am going to get that condition as a output. So here you can see brand is equal to input. Enter your favorite brand I have written. If brand is equal to RC, double equal to RC, means if you enter the term called RC, I am going to get a print statement called its children's brand. Else if brand is equal to KF, if you enter the brand called KF, print, it is not much kick. Okay, if you enter the brand name called FO, you are going to get print statement buy one get one free. So else if you enter a brand called Cerilac, so you are going to get other brands are not recommended. Like this, based upon our given conditions, we are going to get output. If you are giving a name apart from these conditions, you are going to get other brands are not recommended. Okay, so here you can see I have run of code enter brand I have entered RC. It is children's brand I got. Enter KF. I have it is not that much kick. I have entered Kalyani. Other brands are not recommended. Like that, based on the requirement, I'm going to get the output. So whatever the program you have written, if condition only plays a major role. Else condition is going to print whenever our condition is wrong, majorly. Okay. So for if condition, the combination of if conditions, we are having a multiple concepts such as if condition, if else condition, if else if condition, if else condition, if else if condition, and if else conditions. So here this is what another program for if else condition. So I have taken two inputs n1, n2. N1 is equal to input of enter first number. So what is the meaning of this particular line? Means whatever the input you are entering as a first number, it should be in a type of data type of integer data type. Okay. So N2 is equal to input of enter second number. The second number should be of a type of integer type. Okay. Here I am checking a condition if N1 greater than N2. So print biggest number is N1. If N1 is smaller than N2 means bigger. Based upon the condition, which number is if N1 is bigger, I am going to get a statement called bigger number is N1. If N2 is bigger, you are going to get bigger number is N2. So you can see how to enter first number 20. So 20 is stored in N1. Enter second number 10. Enter first number 10. 10 is stored in N1. Enter second number 20. 20 is going to store in 20. So biggest number is 20. Means in these two conditions, which number is biggest, I am going to store that number. So write a program for finding of biggest of greatest of three numbers using the if else condition. If condition. So if else condition is only used for checking of two conditions. And if else if condition is going to check for multiple conditions. How many conditions you may write, you can use this condition. So here I am going to take three inputs n1, n2, n3. In these three inputs, I am giving a condition of it should be of data type of integer data type. So here if n1 is greater than n2 and n1 is greater than n3, we are going to n1 is going to check with n2 and n1 is going to check with n3. So print biggest number is n1. Means in the n1 and n2, if the condition is satisfies, it is going to if n1 and n2 condition satisfies and n1 and 3 condition satisfies, it is going to confirm it is n1 is bigger number. If n1 if it founds in n1 and n2 and n1 and n3, if it founds n2 or n3 is biggest, it is going to compare again with n2 and n3. So it is going to print if n2 is biggest, it is going to print n2 number. If n3 is biggest, it is going to print n3 number. So you can see here it is going to we are going to execute the program. Enter first number 10, enter second number 20, enter third number 30. So now it is going to compare with 10 and 20 and 10 and 30. So n1 is 10, n2 is 20, n3 is 30. 10 is compared with 20 and 10 is compared with 30. So compared to 20 and 30, 10 is smallest number. So again n1 is going to get eliminated and it comes to the else block. It is going to compare with n1, n2 and n1, n3. Okay, here the conditions gets failed. So here n1 is smaller compared to n2 and n3. So here the comparison we are going to perform among n2 and n3. So now the condition is going to check whether n2 is big or n3 is bigger. If n2 is bigger, it is going to print biggest number is n2. Or if n3 is bigger, it is going to print biggest number is n3. So these are the some of the programs where we can try. So here you can see n is equal to input enter number. I am going to enter a number. N is greater than 1, greater than or equal to 1, and n is less than or equal to 10. Means the number should be 9. Okay. Print the number n is between 1 to 10. Okay, whatever the number you are entering. For example, here I am entering number called 55. So I am going to get print the number 55 is not between 1 to 10. Okay. If I am entering number 5, So the number 5 is between 1 to 10, like that. Based upon our condition, it depends. So if n greater than or equal to n1 and n greater than or equal to 10, means if I enter 25, I am going to get the number 25 is not between 1 and 10. Based upon our given input here. Here you are giving input, n is input of enter number. Based upon our input, what you have given, the output is going to display. Either if condition satisfies, if condition prints, or else condition satisfies, else condition is going to print. Okay. So here, this is the program defining that I am going to take input from the keyboard. Based upon the input whatever I have given, it is going to print the particular print statement of that particular input. So here I am using else if condition. So else if condition can be used for multiple statements. For how many statements you want to print, you can write else if condition. But if you are taking else if condition, we have to remember that the time taking for executing code will be somewhat very more. Isn't it? It takes more time to execute. Why? Because in all the conditions, in which condition is going to satisfy, which condition is satisfying with our given input, it should check from one condition number 1, isn't it? So here, if n first it is asking n is equal to int of input, means whatever you are entering, it should be of integer data type, and you are going to enter digits from 0 to 9. You are giving input from 0 to 9. So if n equal to 0, print 0. If n equal to 1, print 1. Means if you are giving 1 as input, I am going to get output as 1. If I am going to give as 2, I am going to get 2. If I am going to give as 9, I am going to enter 9. So if I enter a number called 10, 11, 12, apart from 0 to 9, if I enter other numbers, I am going to get an output called please enter a digit from 0 to 9. If I enter other digits, I am going to get this particular output. Next, iterative statements. Iterative statements are used for running our code for multiple number of times with a single command. Means we are executing a program say one time, but the program is going to execute continuously until the condition gets satisfied. Whenever the condition gets failed, the program execution stops running. So for loop, let us see for loop. For loop is a thing, one of the looping statements which is very easy to write and very easy to run. Means the running time will be very less. Means the execution will be very fast in for loop compared to other type of looping statements. So here I have written s is equal to Sunny Leon for x in s. So what is the meaning of for x in s? So whatever statement I have written in s, the statement is going to store in x, isn't it? Whatever the statement I have written in s, that statement will be stored in x. Okay. Print of x. So I am printing x. Means why I am printing x? The statement that I have stored in s, the statement I have stored in s in second line. So print of x means whatever the statements I am having, so it is going to print all the statements. So here one thing we have to remember is that here we are printing all the statements line by line. Means it is going to print s in one line, u in one line, like that. It is going to print the complete output. Here after Sunny and Leon there is a space, isn't it? It is going to take even space also. You can see line number 11 is empty. Means that is space, isn't it? Like this it is going to print. It is not going to print in single line. It is going to take each character by character and it is going to print. So in first character for x in s, print of x, yes, for x in s, print of x, u, like that. It is going to take each input one time and it is going to print. So next, yeah, s is equal to input, enter some string, like you can enter Srinivas or Kumar or whatever you want. You can enter a string. So for I is equal to 0. First, whatever the string you are entering, first it will initialize the task with 0. Okay. Next, for x in s, so I have whatever the input I am entering, that input is stored in s here. So why it is stored in s? Here I have writing s is equal to input, enter some string. I have written in s, no. So if you enter p here, you have to write here for x in p, you have to write, isn't it? Wherever your input is storing, you have to write that particular term. If I here I have written yes, why? That is why here I have written yes also. So whatever the input you are entering, print the character present at I, means whatever the input is present in I, means 0th position, I index, 0th index is x, means whatever the index means. For example, I have entered VASU Vasu. I is equal 0. At 0 VASU, In VASU, V is 0 position, A is first position, S is second position, and U is third position. So I is 0 position. What is the output I am going to get? V is going to print. Next, I is going to increment to 1. Next, how it is incrementing means here you can see condition I is equal to I plus 1. Means I plus 1 means 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, 0 plus 1. Actually 0 position is there, no? 0 plus 1, 1. So I is going to come to first position. So what is the value being present in first position? A. In Vasu, A is present in first position. So it is going to print. Again it is going to increment. I is equal to I plus 1, 1 plus 1, 2. In Vasu, S is present to second position. It is going to print. Next, I plus 1 to 3. Vasu, in Vasu, U is present in third position. Next, I is equal to I plus 1. I plus 1 value is 4. Is there any string to print in fourth character? Nothing is present. So the execution will stops there. So you can see here, enter the string. I have entered the string Sunny Leon. So the character Sunny Leon, S is 0, 2 is 1, N is 2, N is 2, 3, Y is 4, space is 5, L is 6, E is 6, O is 7, N is 8, E is 9. Like that it is going to give the character count of each and every input. So it will print each and every input. The character present in index 0 is S, the character present in index 1 is U, the character present in index 2 is N, the character present in index 4 is N, the character present in index 4 is Y, the character present in index 5 is space, the character present in index 6 is L, the character present in index 7 is E, the character present in index 8 is O, the character present at index 9 is N, the character present at index 10 is E. Like that it is going to print everything in a character to character until our input is complete. How many inputs you have given until our input condition satisfies? So if you want to print the example, if you want to print a term called Srinivas for multiple number of times, so in such situations you can use a function called range. Even in previous video we saw the concept of range. We can print the same thing number of times. So here you can see for x in range of 10 means whatever the statement you are entering, have to print that statement 10 times. Why? Because I have given a range value 10. Print hello means you are going to get hello 10 times. So for x in range of 11, you are going to print of x means that particular statement you are going to execute 11 times. So here one thing you have to remember is, for example, if I want to print 1 to 5, so I have to write a term called for I is equal to 1 to 4 only. Means whatever the number you want to print, you have to write before number, isn't it? Let us try to run this program. For x then print screen means whatever the statement I want to print, I have written. So you click double enter, you are going to get whatever the statements you have entered 10 times. So I am going to get 10. So if you want to print multiple number of times, you can give the particular value. If you want to print 1000, you are going to give, you have to give 1000. You are going to get 3 to 1000 number of times. Means range function is going to help you to print a particular set of sentence or particular set of statements multiple number of times with one command only, isn't it? So this is the range program. The same program you can also write like this. For x in range of 11, print x. Means whatever the value you are entering, that value is going to print 11 times. So here you can see for x in range 21, print x by x divided by 2 not equal to 0. Means you will get only 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 17, 19, 21 like this. Print of x means we are going to get only those numbers. Okay, means we are going to get those numbers. So here I am going to get up to 21 only. Why? Because I have given a range up to 21 only odd numbers. So to display the numbers 10 to 1 in a descending order means you have to decrease. Means for x in range 10 comma 0 comma minus 1 means 10 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1, it is going to decrease up 10 comma 0 is 10 is a starting number and 0 is a ending number. Or you can write a condition called, if you want to print 1 to 10 in increasing order, means for x in range 1 comma 10 comma plus 1. If you write like this 1 2 3 4, you are going to get, isn't it? In decreasing means you have to write minus 1, means you are going to decrease the highest number is 10, lowest number is 0, means you have to decrease the highest number to lowest value. So you are minus 1 you have written. So this is the program, means whatever the sum of the numbers you are present, you are going to write a set of numbers here. I have taken list, means EBAL. EBAL is a function which is going to evaluate the input whatever we have written, whether the input is correct or not. List of eval input, enter list, whatever the list you are entering, you are going to enter the particular list. So sum is equal to 0, whatever the sum you have entered, first of all it is initialized to 0. For x in list, whatever the list you have entered, you have to send that list to x. So for x in list, sum is equal to sum plus x, means whatever the list you have entered, it is going to perform the sum operation of that particular list. Print the sum is sum, means it is going to print whatever the list you have given, it is going to print sum operation, means addition operation. So you are going to give the list. So here you have told that you are going to give the list. I have given a list 10 20 30 40. Here you are going to print the sum, no? So the sum 100, 10 20 30 40, the result is 100. So I am going to run the program again. I am going to give you the list 45 67. You are going to get sum 112. Next I am going to print, I am going to write a while loop function. So while loop function is, which is a function, it is going to run until our given input condition gets satisfies. So here I have taken x is equal to 1, means here x is equal to 1, while x is less than or equal to 10, means 1 is less than or equal to 10. So yes, 1 is less than or equal to 10, the condition is true. It is going to print of x, what value is stored in x, 1 is stored in x, so it is going to be print 1. X is equal to x plus 1, means x is equal to 1 plus 1 2. So again from fourth line the condition goes to first line. So the whatever value present in 1 x, it is present in 1, so it is going to update x value as 2, is less than is equal to 10. So print 2, again x is equal to x plus 1, x value becomes 3. So the x is incremented to 3. 3 is less than or equal to 10. So the condition is true. It is going to print 3. So x is equal to x plus 1. X value becomes 4. 4 is less than or equal to 10. Like that it is going to print up to 10. So again here after printing 10 value, it is going to print x value becomes 11. So here x is going to update its value to 11. So while x is less than or equal to 10, here the condition fails. So the execution stops there. Whenever a condition fails, the execution stops. So this is also the same program. Here we have given a condition x is less than or equal to 10. So up to 10 it is going to run. But here we are giving a number defaultly, means we are going to give a number called 100, 50, 70, like that we are going to give the number. Sum is equal to 0. First it is going to initialize our input with 0. I is equal to 1, means whatever the input we are giving, it is going to start our task with 1. While I is less than or equal to n, means whatever the input I have entered. For example, I have entered input 25. 25 is stored in n, okay. While I is less than n, means input, what is I value 1? 1 is less than or equal to 25. Sum is equal to sum plus 1, means it is going to increment the value to plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1, means it is I is equal to I plus 1, and the first sum, the sum of first n numbers is sum, means whatever the value you have entered, you are going to get sum of first number value. So here you have entered name is equal to here I am giving an input name is equal to Srinivas, okay. So here I am giving a condition called while name not equal to Srinivas, means if you name not equal to Srinivas, here it is asking line number 3, name is equal to input of enter name. It is asking enter the name whatever you want if name is not equal to Srinivas. Next print thanks for confirmation, means if you entering the name, if the name is equal to Srinivas, if it is going to print thanks for confirmation. If you are entering the name apart from other name apart from Srinivas, it is going to print enter the name thanks for confirmation. Next, infinity loop means if you want to run your input for multiple times until means it is going to keep on executing until you terminate the task, isn't it? Infinity loop means first I is equal 0 means it is going to initialize our task from 0 while true whatever the condition we have written. If that condition is true, it is going to perform the increment operation I is equal to I plus 1. So it is going to perform increment operation. Print hello I, and it is going to print hello I. Whatever the statement I have written in I, it is going to print in I. So here the concept of nested loop. You know what we saw? We have written while loop, do while loop, for loop. Like that we have written a loop statements. But nested loop means defining one loop inside and another loop. It's defining one loop inside and another loop. Okay. For I in range of 4 means I'm going to get values 0, 1, 2, 3. Means so I'm going to get 4 numbers. Okay. For j in range of 4, j also 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I value is 0 to 4, j value is 0 to 4. Great. If anyone, if the range, whatever the task we are starting, in Python programming, that task starts from 0, not from, sorry, starts from 0, not from 1. You have to remember that thing. Print I is equal to I, j is equal to j means whatever the value is there in I, it is going to print in I. Whatever the value is there in there, it is going to print in j. So I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. Next, I is equal to 0, j is equal to 1. I is equal to 0, j is equal to I is equal to 0, j is equal to 3. So after I increments completed, next j increment starts. Like that, it is going to print the complete output. Next, I is equal to 1, j is equal to 0. I is equal to 1, j is equal to 1. I is equal to 1, j is equal to 2. I value increments. If I value increment, j value decrement. If I value performs increment operation, j value keep on constant. If I value keep on constant, j value keep on increment. That is the concept of this program. So this type of program is called as a pattern programs. So this type of pattern programs are very important. Why? Because if we apply for any MNC company for interview in written test, definitely you are going to get the pattern programs. So if we can able to write this type of pattern programs, then the interviewer or whoever taking for interviewer, they can understand that you have a good skill in that particular programming language. So pattern program is very important. If we are having a good knowledge in this type of programming, writing for loop, while loop, do while loop, such type of programs, if you are having a good knowledge, definitely you can write pattern programs. So here I have written n is equal to input of vector number of rows and columns. Means how many number of rows you want, how many number of columns you want. Okay, means whatever the input you are entering, here you are checking a condition n is equal to int. You have to give integer number only, and whatever the integer number you are giving, it is going to store in n value. Next, for I in range 1 comma n plus 1. For I in range 1 comma n plus 1 means whatever the n value you are entering, it is going to, if I enter the n value as 11, n plus means 11 plus 1, like that. For a j in range 1 comma I plus 1 means whatever the I value you are entering, j value depends on I value only. If I value is 0, j will be 0. If I value is 1, j value will be 0. If I value is 2, j value will be 1. If I value is whatever the I value, j value will be less than that value. If I value is 2, j value will be 1. If I value is 3, j will be 2, like that. So you can see here, first star is I value, second star is j value, like that. So print means based upon the condition I and j value, you have to perform print operation. Print star end is equal to space. Then after printing, there no need to display. Next, in next line you are going to write print statement. So this is a one way of writing a program. There is an alternate way also. Next, n is equal to int of input, enter number of rows. Means how many rows you want print, you have to enter number of rows. For I in range 1 comma n plus 1 means if I am entering the rows of 5. For I in range 1 comma n plus 1 means 5 plus 1, 6. Okay. Print star. Whatever the statements I have to print star, I have to. That's why I have written star in double quotes. And afterwards star I means it is going to print. Again it is going to check I value and it's going to increment and it's going to print. Like that, how many number of rows you have entered, that many number of times I value is going to print. So this is the easiest way compared to previous method. So this is a program to display stars in the shape of pyramid. So to display like this, first of all you have to, how many rows you want, you have to display. Means I have entered here 7, so I got 7 here. I got a star up to 7 rows. So for I in range 1 comma n plus 1 means how many rows you are entering, you are performing n plus 1 operation. Next, print star n minus 1 means whatever the n value you are entering, you enter the n value as 5, 7, 6. It is performing minus I operation. N minus I. And in a n statement you have not written anything. Means n statement is nothing. Next, print star I means whatever the statement you are want to print, you are want to print star. So that is why I have written star, and star I means again it is performing. You have to perform increment operation. So that is why star I you have written there. Next, these are the statements very important. Break statement, continue statements are very important. Why? Because in the middle of the program, if you want to terminate in a program itself, you can write a statement called break. Okay. Now let us see. Actually, for I in range 10 means what is the output you are going to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. But here I am giving a condition in line number 2. If I equal to 7, okay, if I is equal to 7, print processing is enough, please break. And I have written break. Print I means what is going to get an output? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Processing is enough, please break. And it is going to stop. You can see the output 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Processing is enough, please break. Like that, it is going to break the statement. Means how it is breaked in line number 7 means I have written break condition here because of not print condition. Because of break condition, it stopped its execution. Next example, cart is equal to 10, 20, 600, 60, 70. So if items in cart, if item is greater than 500, print to place this order, insurance must be required. Next, break, print item. Okay. So what are the items? Items value should not be greater than 500. So first of all I am going to get 10, 20 I am going to get, but 600 I am not going to get. Why? Because the range is up to 500 only. So in the 600 I am going to get, to place this order you have to, insurance must be required, output is the statement you are going to get, and afterwards the execution is going to stop, it's going to break. That's why I have written here break. Next, print items means whatever the statements I have got, I am going to print that particular statements. Next, continue is the reverse of the break statements. Means whatever the statement, if you written continue means it is keep on continuing its operation. So you can, means whatever the statement you have written, that statement only, that particular statement is going to skip here. You can see here for I in range 10 means I am going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But here I have given a condition called if I by 2 is equal to double equal to 0 means I am going to get, means I by 2 means 1 by 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0 or not. I am not getting remainder 0. If 2 by 2 equal to 0, yes, 2 by 2 is equal to 0. 4 by 2 is equal to 0, yeah, 4 by 2 is equal to 0. Like that, if the condition comes 0, then it is going to print continue. Or else if the condition is not equal to 0, I am going to get 1. Okay, let us see for 1. I am going to get remainder 1 only. So I am going to get print statement. If condition true, I am going to get 0. It is going to continue. If condition is, if the number is 3, I am going to get remainder 1. So like that, for whatever the odd values you are having, you are going to get numbers. So cart is equal to 10, 20, 500, 700, 50, 60. For item in cart, whatever the items you have written in cart, if item is greater than or equal to 500, we cannot process the item, you are going to get the statements. Continue item. So here, what is the outputs you are getting? 10, 20, we cannot process the item. 500, we cannot process the item. 700, 50, 60. This is the output you are going to get. But in a break statement, what we have observed in a break statement, whenever the condition got failed, it breaks the execution even though there are another variables. You can see above example once again. Here 10, 20, 6, after 600 it not printed 60 and 70 numbers in this output, you can observe. But here, even though the condition is failed in 500 and 700, it not skip the statements of 50 and 60. So this is one the thing we have to observe. So this is another example. Number is equal to 10, 20, 0, 5, 0, 30. For n in numbers means whatever the numbers I have written, that numbers is going to store in variable n. If n double equal to 0 means whatever the statements written in n, if that condition is equal to 0, print. Hey, how can we divide with 0? Just skipping means n continue. So print 100 whatever the 100 with whatever the input you are having, 100 by 10, 100 by 20, 100 by 0, 100 by 5, 100 by 0, 100 by 30. Like that, whatever the input is divided with n by particular value, you are going to get. So here you can see format means how operation should perform. N comma 100 by n. 100 by n means 100 by 10, 100 by 20, 100 by 0, like that, whatever the with input values. So it is going to get. So 100 by 10, 100 by 20, 100 by. So 0 means what you are going to get. Hey, how can we divide with 0? Just skipping. Next 100 by 5, 100 by 0. Hey, how can we divide by 0? Just skipping. Like that. Means if you get a 0, you write 0, there we are going to get, hey, how can we divide with 0? Next, else block. Means else block means if the if condition gets not satisfied, it is comes to the else block. So cart is equal 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. For items in cart means whatever the items I have written in cart. If items are greater than or equal to 500, we cannot process this item. Break means it is going to break the condition. Next, print item. Else print congrats, all items are processed successfully. Okay. So it's here whatever the input I have given, I have not given any value greater than or equal to 500. So that's why congrats, all items are processed successfully, I have got out. So here you can see 10, 20, 600. In this statement I have given a statement for 600. So if items are 600 is greater than 500, so that's why you cannot process the order you are going to get for one value. Okay. I got an output 10, I got 20, I got for 600, I got a statement called we cannot process this order. Break means the execution of the remaining numbers was break the process. So the program termination came out from termination. Next, pass statements. Pass statements is used for empty. It is used in case of empty statements. It is used in case of null statements. Means if you are not performing any task, it is going to perform the task pass automatically. So here you can see pass statement for I in range 100. Means I am going to take the values from 100. If I by 9 is equal to 0, means I value from starting I by range I by 9 is equal to 0 means first 0 by 9, 1 by 9, 2 by 9, 3 by 9, 4 by 9, 5 by 9, 6 by 9, like that it is going to check up to 100 values. Means for what value it is dividing with what values I am going to get remainder as 0. That value I am going to get pass. So what values divide with 0? 9 table, everything below 9 table, whatever the values I am 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, for all the values I am going to get 0 only. So that is why I am going to get only 9 table values. Remaining values it is going to print pass. It is going to pass to next value. If it is remainder is not coming 0, it is going to perform pass operation. It is not printing. It is passing to, if I am if 4 by 9 is divided by 0, 4 divided by 9 is equal to 0. If the condition is wrong, it is skipping the 4 value, it is coming to 5th value. 5 by 9, 5 divided by 9 is equal to 0. If 5 divided by 9 is not 0, and I am going to get some remainder. So it is going to skip and go for 6. So if whenever you got 0 only, you are going to get output. DEL statement, DEL is a statement used to delete. Okay. So x is equal to 10. So what value stored in x for me? 10. So print of x, 10 is going to print. DEL of x, 10 is going to delete from x. Okay. So here, if you give x small number, if you have to give for deletion also small number. If you give x capital number, for deletion of x, if you give small number, that value cannot be deleted, capital X. Okay, it is case sensitive. Okay, S is equal to Durga, print of X means whatever the statement I have written in X, it is going to print. Next, DEL of S, this means whatever the value I have written in S, Durga. So Durga will be deleted, no problem. Next, DEL of S of 0 I have written. What is the, generally what is the value of S of X? D. So I cannot delete inside elements what is present in that particular string. Okay. So DEL means whatever the statement you want to delete, that particular statement will be deleted. But none means if there are no elements, you will use the term called none. Okay. So this is what the concept, the complete concept regarding how you are going to perform flow control of the different control statements.